So we had Kathy Wood on the show today, and you were on a panel with her this morning, and you unequivocally said, do not sell your Bitcoin. So what is your outlook for the market?
You know, my outlook is very long-term, and the reason I say do not sell your Bitcoin is because if I look back at my life as an investor, the things that I regret are when I found a really good idea and I underinvested in it. Like Google was a good idea, Facebook was a good idea, Apple was a good idea, Amazon was a good idea. A digital monopoly that changes the world for 1 billion people is a good idea. And yet, the most common two mistakes after finding a good idea is, first mistake is someone says something, they talk crap about your idea, there's FUD, oh, Australia's gonna tax Google, or somebody's going to Amazon's going to get regulated, or something will happen, and so people panic sell. And so whenever there's anxiety in the market and you panic sell and then you never buy back in, you regret that. And the second thing you always regret is you wish you bought more. It's a very simple idea. Take the money you want to give to your grandchildren, convert it to Bitcoin, put it in cold storage and wait. Let the rest of the world do the work, and you'll be the beneficiary of all the intelligent people, no matter where they might be in the world. You'll be the beneficiary of all their work with doing nothing else. There's only one mistake you can make. And the mistake you can make is study the world, get anxiety about something going on somewhere in the world, and sell your Bitcoin.
You basically wrote the corporate handbook on adding Bitcoin to your balance sheet and taking that approach. You just borrowed fiat cash against, using your Bitcoin as collateral, $205 million to buy more Bitcoin. Is this what all companies should be doing now, in whatever way they're able to, allocate funds in that direction?
We want to set an example for corporations, and so Bitcoin is pristine collateral. It's theoretically the ideal collateral against which to take a loan. And so we felt that by us doing this deal with Silvergate Bank, it would make other banks either jealous or comfortable, and hopefully we'll see an entire Bitcoin banking sector evolve. And we want to support Silvergate Bank, as they move into this space. We set up a credit line, we borrow against it, we do it responsibly. We have $5 billion in collateral, we borrowed $200 million. So I'm not telling people to go out and take a highly leveraged loan. What I am doing, I think, is doing my best to lead the way and to normalize the Bitcoin-backed financing industry. And I think the corporate beneficiaries would be the Bitcoin miners. We're not the only ones with a Silvergate credit line. Marathon did a credit line with Silvergate Bank against their Bitcoin. So there's 24 publicly traded Bitcoin miners around now. And so I think there should be dozens and dozens of publicly traded companies that are doing this.
When do you stop buying Bitcoin for MicroStrategy? Never.
No, I tell people we will be buying Bitcoin at the top forever. I'm not trying to time the market. I don't intend to stop. You could think of MicroStrategy as we're kind of like your non-existent spot ETF.
Yeah.
If there was a spot ETF, you'd be paying 1% fee, and it would be not leveraged. With MicroStrategy, we have a software company that generates cash flow, and so we convert our cash flows into Bitcoin, and so we don't charge you a fee, we give you a yield, and between the cash flows from the software company and just a little bit of leverage that we can take via things like the Silvergate loan, we can give you a spot ETF that generates a 4 or 5% tax-deferred yield. And that's kind of an exciting thing. And when will we stop? Well, why would we ever stop? Well, we'll just keep accreting. It should get exponentially more expensive to buy the Bitcoin, but that's okay.
Today you said that the executive order from Biden a few weeks ago essentially gave the green light to Bitcoin. So are you feeling pretty optimistic about where we're headed in terms of regulation?
Yeah, I don't think it could have been better than that. Never in 100 years did the executive branch ever endorse an asset class. When commodity index came out, the executive branch didn't say figure out the commodities index. when John Bogle evangelized the Vanguard 500, the president didn't say every American and every agency should study the Vanguard 500 and indexing of equities, right? The last time the executive branch had something to say about asset class was the gold edict back in 1933, right? So I feel like we've got really good support from the administration. I think the regulators are progressive and very erudite. You know, when Jerome Powell, Janet Yellen, Gary Gensler have been asked about this, they say, look, it's a store of value asset, it's speculative. If people want to speculate, they can. It's not a currency. Here's the big idea, McKinsey, which is for a year, I've been in rooms with trillions and trillions of dollars. You know, and it's like the Ray Dalio comment, the Jamie Dimon comment. It's something like this. It seems engineered perfectly. It's obviously better than gold. It's obviously better than all the other ideas we have. It's too perfect. It's too good to be true. And so I think someone's going to ban it. And that's not uncommon. People with large sums of money that are buying fixed income or buying equity index are like, yeah, it sounds really good on paper, but you know, it must be too good to be true. Nobody's going to let that around. And so how do you answer that criticism when someone says it's too good to be true? And it is too good to be true. It's like perfect money. It's a perfect gold with none of the defects of gold, and it's a big tech monopoly with none of the exposure that Google, Facebook, Apple, and Amazon have, because they have people and they do things. And so I wanted something better than a big tech monopoly, and I want something better than gold, and so I have Bitcoin. It's too good to be true. Someone's going to ban it. And the single best way to refute that is say, well, this is what the President of the United States has said. Whereas 40 million Americans want this, I direct you to figure out how to bring it in the public policy framework.